You are listening to the Pursuit of Manliness podcast, where we are vigorously equipping men to pursue biblical manliness. This is our midweek A Quiet Life podcast that focuses on living a quiet life, mind your own affairs, work with your hands, and be dependent upon nobody. For more information, visit us at thepursuitofmanliness.com. So Friday night, I took my 9-year-old son car camping. I shared last week how my wife and I went, and he was all fired up about it. He wanted to go. I looked at the weather, and I thought, well, it's going to be a little cold, but we'll figure that out. I also looked at the calendar and realized, we don't have many more opportunities probably the rest of the year where we live to be able to do something like that. Again, depending on the weather, and then obviously we're walking into holidays, and December is just crazy. So we went Friday night. He couldn't wait. He was fired up all week about it. I asked him on the way down there, I said, did you tell your friends at school you're doing this? Oh, yeah, he couldn't wait. And so we get there, and the sun had already set, so it's dark. Here you're driving to the state park, and we get parked, we get set up. And now last week, my wife and I went, so that would have been, the end of 1st of November? I don't remember where it was at. It's all a blur. But it was packed. This week we show up, it's like a ghost town. Obviously, the weather's not as nice, and, again, you're getting into what they would consider winter camping, but it was a ghost town. It was pitch black out there. There was a group of guys probably, 100 yards away that were camping in the same area, but we get set up, we get a fire. I'm thinking, I got to get this fire going quickly because it's cold. And so we get that going. We get the car camping set up as far as the bed, blacking out the windows, blankets, the whole deal, get our chairs out. We start making food. He roasts his own hot dogs. I did some like Cajun sausage. Then we did s'mores, and we just had a good time. And he was just fired up to go to bed. Now he's 9 years old, and I know what he's doing. He's fired up because this is different, and he can't wait. And he's like, "Can we go to bed now?" And I'm like, "No, we come out here to enjoy this experience." And he just wants to, go in there. He thinks it's cool, and so he kept getting in and out of the car and stuff. But at one point, I said, "What time do you think it is?" And he's like, "I don't know." 9 or whatever he guessed, and it was 7:22. Don't you just agree? Time is a little different when you're away from, the standard things that we're used to, whether it's a clock on your car, TV, microwave, even your cell phone is different out there. He was asking about like Wi-Fi because he has an iPad. It doesn't have any connection to data or anything like that. So, he's kind of playing that on the way down, and we just had a good time. We didn't hike or anything like that. We just hung out, and I said, we're not going to bed till we burn this wood down. So he was obviously rooting for the wood to get burned down. And around 9 o'clock, I finally, got a few bottles of water. We start putting it out, making sure we're done. And we went to bed. So we get in the car, we shut everything down. And not very long after, it starts to rain, which I did not anticipate. We were supposed to get snow the next day, but rain, I didn't know. No big deal. And so we go to bed, and it was cold. It was cold, man. And so as a dad, I'm making sure like he's covered up and he's good. And, I don't want to like roll over and take any blankets from him or anything like that. And I'm laying there thinking, man, we should have brought the purple blanket. Now, for us, the purple blanket is this, I think it's 10 by 10. I believe it's from the Big Blanket Company. They're huge. And my kids love to all sit on their mom, on the couch and watch movies and stuff. So I bought this blanket because they all can have blanket. It's huge. And I said, next time we're bringing that blanket. Or we're bringing a blanket like that's huge and weighted and whatever. So I get up early in the morning. It's probably 6 a.m. I've been awake several times throughout the night. But finally at 6 a.m. I said, I'm getting up. And I start to roll over, and he sits right up. He's like, where are you going? I said, I got to take a leak. And he's like, I was kind of cold last night. I said, me too. I didn't sleep real well. I didn't either. I said, but we made it. And on the way down, we had talked about measuring yourself. We're going to measure ourselves. It's dark. We can start a fire. We're going to measure ourselves. We're going to get our stuff out. We're going to make food, or wear a headlamp or whatever. Just these like little bit different things that we normally don't do. And I said, son, you measured yourself. It was cold. It wasn't ideal. You could say it was uncomfortable. We learned some things. We measured ourselves. And then we got up and we drove off. We went to McDonald's, got breakfast, and drove home. And on the way, we started to drive home. Snow. Good night of living. Snowmageddon. I thought we were getting a dusting. We got actual snow. November 12th, it was like 7:45 in the morning. I said, look at that. So I tell you all that because that kid has walked a little bit taller the last few days. Like he talks about that. He has mentioned that a couple times. He's talked about, what we did or whatever, and we've talked since then about what changes we want to make, and that meant something to him. On one hand, I thought, I'm exhausted. You're trying to get fired in bed, and you're on the whole time. And again, it's just one of those things that it's a great investment. It's great to get out and do that and get out of your norm, measure yourself against the elements, and to make those connections. And I say all that because, we get back on Saturday. We had people at the house just about the whole day. And then on Sunday, we have church. We have a small group last night. My kids had youth group. My wife is heavily invested in our church. And so they're really, from the minute they got out of school on Friday to this morning as they're walking back out the door, there's no reprieve for them or for me. And I tell you that because every Wednesday we talk about living a quiet life. Now, I'm recording this on a Monday. And on a Monday is technically my official day off. And that means for the most part, most of the year, they're where they go, and I'm here. So the house is really quiet. I do a lot of pursuit of manliness stuff, or shipping stuff, or getting some things ready for the week. It's kind of a time where you kind of reflect on what happened Sunday from a church standpoint. What do we think in the week ahead? And as I look at this Monday, what I was going to talk to you about and what I'm going to talk to you about are two different things. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me start by reading this verse that we talk about all the time. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. This is Paul writing now. And to aspire to live quietly and to mind your own affairs and to work with your hands as we have instructed you, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent upon no one. Now, I don't know what your life looks like. I don't know what you do for a living. I know I have a lot of guys who you don't have a day off. You don't have a set day, or you don't have a rhythmic day. I understand that, and so just hear me out when I'm saying here. As I talk about living a quiet life, I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth. What I thought about as I was getting ready this morning and getting moving was how I live a quiet life. And I thought, I'm going to share that because I talk about it every week, and I give you glimpses into, who I am or what we do. And I try to be very transparent, very authentic. I've said a number of times that there's nothing special about me. I don't live in a farm somewhere that I'm remote, or no, I live in town. I live in Indianapolis. It's a large city. I live in an HOA. That's the largest neighborhood I've ever lived in. There's constantly something going on. And for the last two Fridays, and they may be the last two we get to do for a while, I have found a way to get away and just overnight go camping. Nothing uber special about it. There was nothing extra the next day. As a matter of fact, the weather both times did not allow me to do anything the next day except drive home. But I feel better when I come in. Just getting out, I just feel better doing that. Now, that's my wiring. And I know depending on your season of life and stuff, that might be a challenge. I'm a husband, been married 21 years. I got 3 kids, 2 in high school, 1 in elementary school. My kids are very involved in their school. I'm an active attender, I would say. I don't serve there. I've done concession, whatever. It doesn't matter. The other night we were at a couple basketball games till pretty late. Friday night they're at some games. Work at a church. My wife serves there in the children's ministries. My kids serve in the children's ministries. We had a chili cook-off yesterday after church. Man, it was fantastic. And just a lot of things. So it's not hard to get overwhelmed with just a schedule. And maybe you can relate to that. And because of that, I have a lot of lone wolf tendencies. Because of that, on a Monday, it would be easy for me to just stay in bed, lay on the couch, go out somewhere. And that may happen, not today, but go out somewhere and just walk several miles by myself or whatever. And all those things are good. They're not bad. I think you need a Sabbath somewhere. Most of the time, my Sunday is not ever going to be a Sabbath. Saturdays don't tend to be that way. So Monday for me is going to be doing some things out of the norm, breaking those rhythms of really Tuesday through Sunday, if you will. And so I have a lot of lone wolf tendencies, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. My natural draw is to be more introverted. I do like people, but I do really, really like my space. I really value not getting in your business and also you not being in my business. I think we need those distance, but I also believe in being authentic and being transparent as much as possible. I also believe in the power of community. And so you say, it sounds like you're kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth. No, here's how I live a quiet life and make sure that I don't remove myself from the things that are good. Before I get into that, this is important. I think there's a lot of guys who aspire to live a quiet life, and their natural draw, their natural inclination is to remove themselves from any form of authenticity or community or growth. I'm not saying that always happens, but it happens a lot. And so when you get tired or kind of feel defeated or you're just worn down, right? There's only so much of yourself you're able to give. I think our natural draw a lot of times can be to remove ourselves from things that are life-giving. And we can justify it by saying, I just have to get away. I just have to, and I think there's power there's power in that. But to live a true quiet life, that you're going to honor God in all aspects and ensure the fact that you don't remove yourself from Him, His people, His word, or what He wants to do in your life, or the people that He might be placing in your life. I think you have to have community. And I say all that to get to this point. As I got up today, this is Monday morning, November 14th, I was going to talk about something else that will probably be next week's Quiet Life podcast. Instead, I started to take some notes as things were unfolding in front of me. I'll say this, on Friday and Saturday. So I'm gone on Friday night. I'm getting some text messages from buddies of mine who are in Tribe. On Saturday, the same deal, getting messages, group text, whatever. On Sunday morning, as I walk in, I'm a part of a group text that a guy was praying for everyone in that group text, and so we're all kind of responding to that. I've said many, many times, there's a friend of mine in South Carolina that almost like clockwork, before I go up to preach, he'll send me a text message for me and the church, and it's very encouraging. Today, as I was waking up, I grabbed my phone, and in my WhatsApp, and I'm a marginal user in WhatsApp, so I don't fully grasp the whole thing, but I'm in a WhatsApp group for our men in Tribe International, and they have a conversation going. And so I can wake up and I can see what they have been talking about. I got a text from the guy I'm discipling here locally, and then I text him back because we're reading the same thing every day. I got notifications from the Tribe community that we're a part of. This is Tribe Session 10 we're currently in right now, about a post. We have comments, etc. And then another guy from Tribe sends me a text as I'm getting ready. I look down and I see his text. And so these are all conversations that have happened or messages that have happened before I ever got downstairs and got a cup of coffee. Now you say, does that drive you crazy because you're lone? No, that to me, that fuels my fire. That to me keeps me faithful and focused. Because prior to Tribe, it would be so easy for me to remove myself and stay removed for extended periods of time, which are never truly fruitful when they start to turn from a place of reset to recluse. And so for me, on Friday night, you say, well, you're camping with your son, you got these messages. One of the text messages was about me and my son camping, and this individual and their son camping. Let's plan a trip. You got it. Let's do this. Yeah, that's a good thing. Took a picture, showed my son, hey, we're taking a picture. I'm going to send it to this guy. Of course, we sent a picture to mom. We got to send one to her. My son, he's fired up about it. You know why he's fired up about it? Because he knows the kid that I referenced, who's a son of the guy that I'm texting, because the guy brought his son to the retreat, and his son and my son were kicking soccer balls around together during the retreat. That's a real good thing. The text message on Saturday and Sunday, the group text. Oh man, you get those group texts and it's like meme. Nope, not this one, not at all. No, this was an encouraging text. I'm praying for you. Here's what I'm praying about. I'm looking at this text as I'm getting ready on Sunday morning, and there's some other guys mentioned. And this individual I talked to last week, and he said, you know what? When you were in Kentucky, and my wife and I came to visit you, my wife's whole personality or whole demeanor changed on the way home because of that time that she was hanging out with your wife. So how did her wife and my wife get along so well? You say, well, that's their personalities. No, you know what it was? Both wives would say it was predicated upon the fact they already felt like they knew the other guy. They already knew the relationship. They knew the relationship was life-giving. And so as we're on the way to this camping or this fall break trip that we're getting away, I just mentioned this guy, and I honestly thought he lived closer than what he did to where we were staying, so I had to apologize. But I said, hey, you want to come up for dinner sometime? So he did. He and his wife came up, and they hung out for, I don't know, a couple hours, whatever. And he and I talk, on the deck and drinking a cup of coffee, and the wives are talking and laughing and going, well, how did that happen? It's because they felt like they knew one another through the relationship. We've seen this at the retreat. There were some guys who, brought their wife or whatever. And so the wives are starting to connect. The kids are starting to connect. How does this happen? Through Tribe. Tribe to me is such an anchor to my life to help me live a true quiet life. Because when I get away, or when I need to shut down, or when I start to get worn down, I'll tell you what, if the good Lord doesn't send a guy to send a message, to leave a comment, to send an email, to whatever. Tribe is this constant community that is always there. Now you say, but Jarrett, face-to-face is always better, and that's what we can't get away from that. Listen, to that guy, I'm in a small group. Last night was week 7 of our group. There's 14 of us in that group. I'm in face-to-face. 100%. That group, husbands and wives. You say, I know, but Jarrett, the man to man, that's, a brother uplifting a brother, and iron sharpens iron. Yeah, there's some guys, one guy in particular in that group, another guy at our church as well. So there's at least 2 guys at our church that know me incredibly well. Like behind the curtain well, that probably know things that I'm not sharing on a podcast or a video. I have the face-to-face men. I have a couple of them in particular. I have the small group community. It's great. Next week, we're bringing in food. We're going to eat like kings and queens, and hopefully we get the blueberry pound cakes and all the good stuff from there. I hope queso, whatever. I hope it's all there. But I'm telling you, there's something about that community of Tribe that no matter where I was at, whether it's fall break, camping with my wife, camping with my son, coming home on a Saturday, I'm tired, I stink, whatever. We got people in our house all day long. We got church all day long. There's something about that community as I get up on a Monday morning. It's like getting a fresh cup of Armor Nation coffee before I get a fresh cup of Armor Nation coffee. You can't explain it. I can't manufacture it. That particular community is unlike anything I've been a part of. I have a guy I'm discipling. I have a couple guys in my church that know me very well, and I think I know them pretty well also. I'm in a small group with other couples talking through things. We talked about discipleship and evangelism last night. I've been in accountability relationships, had a mentoring relationship. I've been in a lot of things. I've had a lot of good people through the years pour into my life that the good Lord has placed at just the right time because I desperately needed it and didn't realize it. And it hit me this morning. And I knew this. Okay, so this is not hyperbole. I knew this. But it hit me this morning as I got up and I thought about the topic I was going to talk about. And my phone is ding, and this message is ding, and I check the notifications ding, and I'm like, You're like, but doesn't that drive you crazy? No, because to me, it's relationships that I've opened myself up to and say, absolutely. I am a D&D guy, okay? I'm a do not disturb guy a lot. As a matter of fact, my daughter, I thought she was one of them that could get through on the D&D. I guess not. She was trying to call me last night. She got locked out of the church. She's like, I called your phone and went straight to this weird message. I hear that all the time from guys. I called you, but I got this weird message. Yeah, I don't take many phone calls. It's not that I'm better than you. It's not that I don't want to do phone calls. I just want to be intentional with what, if I'm going to get on the phone with you, I want to be intentional with it. I don't want to just ring me up. Hey, just thought I'd see how you're doing. Okay, I'm doing something. I'm too all over the place for that. Messages, whatever. You guys know. You guys say, hey, can I get on the phone with you? Probably not. But man, what do you got? What do you send me an email? I want to be available, but I just don't like being on the phone. So I'm a D&D guy. I'm looking right here. I got at least 2 notifications. Phone never went off. That's the goal. I want to have it. I want to be able to reach people. I don't want to be worn out by all the dings. So when I got up today, I intentionally looked for that. I saw the numbers. I saw the notification here. So I click on them on purpose. And when I went there, it's life-giving. I was thinking about this week. So I got this going on Monday. We have 2 Zoom calls this week. So 2 times this week, we're going to get on a call, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to talk through a topic. I'm going to listen way more than I talk. As a matter of fact, there are times that I don't talk at all in there. I just listen to these guys talk. They're sharp. And I log off thinking, doggone, these are good dudes. And it keeps me going. It's hard to get in some sin. It's hard to get in some mess when you just logged off at 10 o'clock Eastern time and you go sit in your chair, get on your phone, whatever. You're like, man, good dudes. Iron sharpens iron. They're not kidding about that. Countless challenge videos. The challenge video this week is about what? Loyalty to God. We've been talking about loyalty to God the last couple of weeks in Tribe. So there'll be a countless number of videos, guys just talking about, here's where I'm at. Here's what this is what I think, whatever. All these different perspectives. And it helps me fill my role as a husband and father, as a pastor, as a man of God. Again, I say all that because here I am, a guy who likes to get away and likes to shut it down. And I think there's a lot of guys out there that are kind of the same mindset. You see all the tension, you see all the division, you see all the skepticism and cynicism and the paranoia and bitterness and hatefulness of the world. And you say, man, can't we just get away from, I just want to live a quiet life, mind my own affairs, work my hands, be dependent upon nobody. Just leave me alone. I think we have a lot of guys like that. You just want to provide. Man, you just want to be a good husband. I just want to be a good dad. I want to be a faithful man of God. I just want to pay my bills. I just want to be nice to the mailman. I just want to love my neighbors, be nice to them, be a good neighbor. I want to be an active citizen, participant of the community. That's fine. I want to be actively involved in my kids' school. I want to be actively involved in my church. I don't want to get caught up in all the other stuff. And as I told my wife a few weeks ago, I just want to know that we can just get away, just log off for a while. And that's what we do. But again, we can't let the reset move into recluse where we say, you know what, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. As I talk about Tribe, there are guys that go, man, I hate Facebook and I don't like, I get everything you're saying. Had it not been for Facebook in particular, I wouldn't know these guys. I would not know these guys. The group text from, 4 or 5 different states on the Sunday one, a couple different guys on Friday, Saturday. I mean, these are men that are making a real investment in my life, and I don't have to be face-to-face all the time with them. Those guys at my church that I talk about, those 2 guys that I feel like know me incredibly, incredibly well. No hidden agendas there. I'm not around them all the time. It's just different where a guy in Tribe, especially your closer guys, you're not going to be, if there's 180 guys in Tribe, you're not going to be close to them all naturally. But if you're in this community, whatever comes out, whatever it is, you can't be close to all, but you can always be there. You can always get connected to one of them. Again, today, as I'm sitting here and I'm starting to think about this and I'm making some notes on my phone about, don't forget that. Oh yeah, that's right. That happened too. Another guy in Tribe sends me a text message about a different guy in Tribe, like, hey, you notice this? Or like, and again, on a Monday, where there's nobody here, it would be real easy to just spiritually, relationally, emotionally, mentally just shut it down. And while I'm not doing the things I normally do, because it is essentially a Sabbath rest, the fire is still being kindled the whole time. I don't say that to brag. I don't say that to say that I haven't figured out, because I don't have it figured out. I think I'm moving the right direction. I think the good Lord has shown me a lot of mercy and grace to help me see it. I think God has laid some things on my heart. I know the Holy Spirit convicted me of this today as this started just kind of flowing as I'm typing these thoughts out, that it's available to you as well. And you'll hear me say it a lot, like if it's not Tribe, it's Tribe's not for everybody. I get that. Make it something and make it real. Don't make it some baloney thing that we're going to drag our feet for a month and a half and maybe we'll get it started. Maybe we'll, no, make it real. The thing about Tribe is it's always going on. So we're ending a session right now. We have another one that starts December 1st and it runs till the end of May. I ask myself beginning of each session, okay, what kind of man do I want to be at the end of this session? What kind of growth do I want to see? As a guy who does have tendencies to, hit reset, to get away, I love the idea of going off the grid. I love the idea of we're out there camping and it's pitch black. You could hear the wind coming for a ways. I mean, you don't get a fire going, you're going to be cold. We could always get in the car, but we took care. We were cold in the car too. But to go out there and be removed from everyone and it's so good. But God just keeps letting those little dings, a little nudge, a little whatever, be like, stay focused. Stay faithful. Stay in the fight. I got a little man here who looks up to me right now. He thinks this is pretty cool. He's going to hit an age at some point where he may not want to go camping in a car with his old man. I get that. But right now, I'm going to take advantage of it. Right now, we're going to try to create some memories. Right now, I'm going to try to build community. He's got great friends at his school. He's got great friends at his church. But if I can get him or my wife or my kids in community with these other guys, these other families, these other wives who are pouring into me, the wives aren't pouring into me, the other men that are pouring into me, but we get our families together, that makes more sense. That's a good thing. Because who knows, my kid one day may go to college and live in one of those areas where one of those guys or his family is, and I can say, hey, my kid's about an hour away. Could you just check on them? Or, hey, his car broke down, man. Could you help him out? Or could you tell him where you go to a bank? Or, this thing is global. Global. The conversation that's happening in UK and Canada and the WhatsApp isn't, at that particular specific conversation, wasn't 100% relevant to me in the US, but it's insightful. Good men, very good men. I tell you that because it's available to you. And to see what this community Tribe does for me, a guy who has remove yourself tendencies a lot, to see what it's done for my wife and kids, I don't think I'm fully going to grasp it on this side of eternity. To see the way that these men in Tribe who've been investing in me, to see when my wife starts to become friends with their wives, or my kids start to know their kids, there's no way I could thank them enough for that. There's no way I can put that into words. Because you see, when like I'm a pastor of a church, and we were leaving yesterday, we're exhausted, the chili cook-off's over and all that. Man, Sunday's just a different kind of tired when you leave than, I don't know if everyone feels that way when you leave Sunday. It is a different kind of tired. There are certain people that will naturally be nice to us, right? Because of the role we hold. And some people will have some animosity towards us because of the role we hold. In our school, it's a little more leveled out depending on, the groups and things you're a part of and all that. In Tribe, these are guys that zero connection outside the fact that we love Jesus and we're in this community together. So my wife knows that I can go off the grid. I can go on a camping trip. I can go on a hiking trip. I can go camp in my car. I can do whatever, and I'm never disconnected from that community. There's something powerful about staying connected to sources of energy. right? So we say we always want to stay connected to God. Absolutely. But do you not disconnect in theory from time to time? I'm always going to be in the Word. Yeah, well, are you? I always want to be in tune with the Spirit. Right, that's the goal. But I know there's plenty of times where I'm in tune with the flesh more than I was in tune with the Spirit. God has to right that ship. And yet he uses people in a community who don't live in the same town as me to keep me faithful and focused. I made this note, and I'll wind down with this. It's a convenient yet constant community. And that's how I live the quiet life. A convenient yet constant community that I make investments in, and they make investments in me. And I'm saying, if you really want to live the quiet life, and you live a busy one, and you live a full one, and you have a lot of responsibilities, and you have a lot of people who might want to be on the phone or email with you, whatever. If you just feel, I want to encourage you, you might want to sign up for Tribe. It is a convenient yet constant community that I can remove myself, yet I'm never fully disconnected from that which is a source of energy and of good. And even when you go out in the middle of nowhere, whether it's a fall break trip or a camping trip or just a walk, whatever, there's a ding, there's a nudge, there's a whatever, and it's good. It's a good one. It's not a life-sucking one that says, oh, great, now what? We have enough of those things in this world, don't we? No, this is good. This is someone maybe checking in on you. This is someone with a prayer request or praying for you. Got a message today, a guy just praying for me and the guys in my church. Man, thank you. Thank you. I didn't even know that was happening. And I get to return the favor, right? A convenient yet constant community. And for me, that is one of the keys to live a quiet life. Think about that. It will be November 16th, probably, when this thing goes live on Wednesday. Registration for Tribe closes November 20th. You say, hey, man, I didn't find this podcast till months later. We open it up twice a year. I would encourage you, don't wait. Most of us don't have 6 months to waste. We're all on borrowed time. I wouldn't wait. If you need a convenient, constant community, if you're trying to live a quiet life, stay faithful, stay focused, you better sign up for Tribe. I'll talk to you in a bit. Thank you for listening to the Pursuit of Manliness podcast. If you would, make sure to visit iTunes and leave a 5-star review to let others know what you think of this show. When you get a chance, make sure to visit thepursuitofmanliness.com to see what is available in the gear store, find more information out about Tribe, and much more. Thanks for listening, and let's keep pursuing biblical manliness.